up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and this show is all about uncovering the secrets of our heroes. And we've had so much feedback lately from Henrik Fisker that we had on the show and Richard Branson that, you know what, we may be bringing them back on because the feedback's been phenomenal. We've gotten so many questions to go ahead and continue to ask them, so we may bring them on. But let's go ahead and let's start the show off immediately with our next hero. I mean, here's the thing. What child, especially boys, don't grow up playing with Matchbox cars? But imagine, if you will, being able to live the dream by becoming and being a race car driver, professional driver. And we have with us Josh Cartu, who could be reached on Instagram by going to @JCARTU. With that, Josh, you've been the winner of the Gumball 3000 rally. My son wants to know what the fastest you've ever gone, and also, too, tell me more about this race.
350 kilometers per hour. So Gumball 3000 started almost 20 years ago by a guy named Max Cooper. It's a 3,000-mile rally. It's not a race per se. It's more of a rally with over 100 supercars. We go from one place to another. Every year is a different route, although, some years you kind of go over the same places again, So this time was we finished in Mykonos, and we started in Riga this year, for example.
I mean, it's beautiful. You go to all the exotic places. Tell us about, too, is that now you're president of the Ferrari Club?
Yeah, I'm a president of the Ferrari Club. There are several in the world.
And what tell us a little bit about what that does, people that are involved and stuff.
What it involves, yeah, sure. What it involves is you get a lot of people together. You arrange events for a lot of Ferrari owners to get together. You do rallies with them, private events, private dinner galas, things, that are just specifically set up for Ferrari owners. Sometimes it's across a few countries, sometimes it's just one country, but you're sort of like a brand ambassador. Not sort of, you are a brand ambassador for Ferrari doing that.
I mean, that's amazing. You're living the life, you know that.
Yeah, sometimes I pinch myself. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, you mentioned, too, is that you're involved in other businesses. Can you share some of those with us?
Yeah, sure. I invest in a lot of high-tech stuff right now. A lot of it I'm personally involved with, but my company I started a long time ago with Sandstorm R&D, and basically that makes online gambling software. So we have licensees that license that out. We also provide support services, so on and so forth. For that. And that was the core business that evolved into many different areas now.
Plus, too, you're also a philanthropist. In fact, you've committed money to the Tony Hawk Foundation. You work to create community by building public parks and more. I mean, how did you become involved in this aspect?
Actually, I met Tony in Gumball, and the first donation there was just I was bidding against Deadmau5, who was at the time a friend of mine. And we were going back and forth bidding, and the skateboard, it was just a skateboard that he rode during the rally, and it also had Tiny Tempa's Miami to Ibiza lyrics on it. So we were bidding back and forth, and eventually I bought it, and it was $60,000, and it went into this foundation, and that kind of was the beginning of donating to these types of foundations like the Gumball Foundation and everything. Because Gumball Foundation, they give a lot of money away to stuff that involves kids, and I like that. For example, Wish Upon a Star Foundation, they give a lot of money to that. So it's good. I mean, it feels good, and I think it's fun. I mean, you're not going to normally buy a skateboard for $60,000, obviously. It's just kind of a silly thing that we do.
Right. Well, I mean, it's incredible. And again, we're talking with Josh Cartu. Josh Cartu. You can follow him on Instagram @JCARTU. Plus, we'll also have it on our website, Eliances.com. That's ELIANCES.com, the place where entrepreneurs align, be part of the community, go to Eliances.com with me, David Kogan, the host of the Eliances Heroes Show. And so many things going on too is that, many people, Josh, may look at you and say, you lead a charmed life, but it's got to be a lot of work with what you do. Can you tell us about the training? And people have really, to be honest with you, they have no idea what goes on behind the scenes unless they're in the industry. They think, you just go into the car and off you go. Talk about the intensity of the training with it.
Well, I think nowadays, as a racing driver, things have evolved considerably. It's not like the old days that you get drunk the night before and get in the car and just, perform. Most of the people that I know are doing endurance racing, and for me, most of the training is just cardio and high heat training. So for me, one of the things I do is I take an exercise bike and I put it in a sauna, and I just go as long as I can before I pass out. And then you kind of get used to the interior of a car, which has, it's got air conditioning, but if you turn it on, you lose like 10 horsepower. So you're at a big disadvantage if you use it. So it's better not to use it. So saying that, you just, you want to condition your body to be able to handle that type of heat for that duration of time.
Right, because you don't have any air conditioners in those cars, right?
We have, but if you use it, you're not going to finish first. Like, everybody keeps it off. That's quick. If you're absolutely dying, you might turn it on for a lap or two if you've got enough of a gap between the cars behind you and yourself. But I don't do it.
What about the mental training behind it?
That's a lot about concentration. Typically, when you're doing the same thing over and over again, it's easy to kind of make a mistake once you're in repetition. So the best training these days is simulations. And actually, I spend a lot of time playing racing video games like Forza to kind of like just practice the same circuit and the line over and over again. So that's the concentration that I do. I also play a lot of Tetris.
You know what? We're going to come over to your house and we're going to play some video games because that sounds like a blast. Talk to me though. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't think you've ever seen the Tetris things that big before. It'll be funny to play Tetris at my house.
Oh, that would be fantastic. And a typical day for you. Is there a typical day for you?
There isn't. Every day is different. I literally don't have a routine. I try to do the gym as often as I can, but not as much as I'd like. And I'm always doing something different every day. There's no day that begins or ends exactly the same, with the exception of going to bed and waking up. That's the only thing that's the same.
You know what? Our listeners and me, we're going to live vicariously through you. Really, you're able to do so many unique things. In fact, you're traveling to a number of places just within the next few weeks, different countries and that. The opportunity to be able to do that and make an impact on what you're doing is incredible. And you can reach Josh Cartu by going to Instagram at JCARTU. You're going to see some amazing shots, amazing things that he's doing. And you also, too, you own a bespoke single-seat road legal vehicle. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. That's called a BAC Mono. BAC stands for Briggs Automotive Company, and it's two brothers, the Briggs brothers, that dreamed of creating a supercar company. So I was completely, it was something, I wanted to do as a kid. Everybody has things that they want to do that they don't end up doing, but that was also a dream of mine, is to make my own car. So these guys are like my idols, They made their own supercar, and it's like crazy fast. So I bought one of the first cars that they made, and I went there and just started to customize it. And I had all these ideas, that they hadn't done yet, but they agreed were a good idea. And step by step, they incorporated a couple of the ideas into the car that I suggested. And then suddenly I found myself on their advisory board. So it's pretty nice relationship I have with them. They're great guys, and we become really good friends.
Amazing. Let me ask you, Josh, if you were talking to a group of sixth graders, all right, and again, they've got their Matchbox cars. Even adults, right, play with Matchbox cars. I've got a couple in my car that I kind of keep by me. But let me ask you, as far as what kind of advice would you give to them to be able to lead a truly amazing life? And I think most of all, what I've gotten out of this and what our listeners will get out of it is that you live life to the fullest. What kind of plan, what would you suggest for them, and what kind of secrets would you share with them?
Look, I wouldn't tell them anything cliche. I'm really honest when I speak to people, especially young people. I think it's super, super important that you tell them the truth early on. And, you know, for me, everybody looks at me and looks at a lot of people and they say, oh, look, there's this guy who just appeared and he's got all this money and he's got all this cool stuff. And, you know, a lot of people are being sold via social media that, like, you know, people become overnight success. And, you know, I just watched this movie, The Founder, right? And they said, you know, we were an overnight success for McDonald's, but it was 30 years in the making. You know, these people were actually working for 30 years and you know, refining the kitchen and so on and so forth. So to answer your question, what I would say to them is the most important thing is to pick something you want to do and just keep at it consistently and remain persistent and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, regardless of, you know, how disappointed you get or how many times you fail, because the only way you can succeed is if you fail over and over and over again and learn from those mistakes. So that's what I would tell them. I would say, look, just stick to it. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of energy. And eventually you sacrifice the early years of your life so you can enjoy the later years.
Well, Josh, you certainly stick to it. You keep doing it. You're a hero. You no doubt are living life to its fullest. Keep doing what you're doing. Josh Cartu, follow him on Instagram at JCARTU with David Kogan of Eliances.